Hello. Given some of the comments I've seen on the Steam forums, I thought it'd be useful to try to make this new player guide sort of an intro tutorial that's longer than the tutorial. Um, One thing I'm going to start off by mentioning is that, as you might see, I'm going to be playing Mezari. Now, some people will say that if you're a new player, the best race is Wild Walkers, and I disagree. It's not that the Wild Walkers are bad, but one of the biggest problems you can get as a new player is lacking science. And Wild Walkers can very easily be in a situation where they do so, where they try to expand too fast, they don't get the right kind of cities, they don't get the right types of heroes, they don't put citizen on science or whatever, and they wind up in a situation where you're sure you have a lot of industry, but unless you're going to try to conquer the world and turn like 20 or something, or 30, then all that industry isn't actually doing you that much good, because you've built all the buildings you can, and you can't really settle too much more without better techs and more luxuries and all that. The Mezari, on the flip side, are very well set up to do very well on one city right from the get-go. And you can expand later on, but I would suggest, especially if you're a new player and struggling, that just staying in one city on Mezari until like Era 3 is probably the best way to go. And I'm going to show off a little bit about how I would play the Mezari, and I'm going to be playing them a bit more as a new player might. I'll do some things, but I'm sure some people are going to look at this video and say, Balkoth, you did this advanced stuff in the other videos, you're not doing it now, like what's up with that? And the answer is pretty simple. This is meant for new players, and I'm trying not to overwhelm everyone. So, please shut up about that in the comments. Don't need to hear that I'm not min-maxing everything perfectly, because the point is I don't want to say, you know, here's all 10 million things you need to do. Let's cut that down to a few simple basic rules. And if we can manage with those, then we'll be set up to get a good understanding of the basic game, because a lot of people are apparently struggling even on like normal difficulty. So we're going to stick with that. I'm going to stick with one city for a bit, and I'm going to try to walk you through the decision chain for everything I do. Everything is set to default. I literally just hit the default button. I'm even keeping the speed of the battle animations on the slowest possible, which is normal, so that if we have to do a manual battle, people can see exactly what's happening more easily who aren't used to trying to follow everything. Without further ado, let's get going. Everything's normal. We're in normal difficulty, normal game speed, all default settings, 6 people, blah blah blah. Off we go.
Our legend spoke of a great journey beneath the stars. Safe in our halls and minds, we ignored these old tales. But then the great quake cracked our halls open, revealing ancient secrets and relics. These unknown relics carried our patterns, our images, hints of a hidden past. We took them and fled the destruction, seeking a new life on the surface. Now the legends and relics of our past show the way to our future. The journey will be dangerous, sometimes deadly, but we go forth without fear or ignorance. For courage and knowledge are the bywords of the Vultures.
Alright, welcome to the game. First thing we're going to do, I realize this may be immersion breaking and all sorts of other things. There's some people suck it up. Bottom right, we're going to press the button way down here. That will show our tiles and it'll show our outputs. The first thing we need to do is figure out where we're going to settle our city, and that's going to take a while to get over there. Okay, things we're looking for. We're looking for good science, we're looking for good industry. And before we go any further, let me also mention this. Why Mezari and not Vultures, you might ask? The starting hero. The starting hero for Mezari has Science Boost 2, which gives science per level of the Governor hero. The Vulture hero gives Science Efficiency 2, which gives science per citizen. The problem is, if you have one citizen, they're not going to give as much science, you know? And you don't even want to have workers on science early on. It's kind of a double whammy. Now, if you had a city of like size 20 and you had a level 1 hero to put in them, and they're all going to be on science, then the science per citizen would be better. But we don't have that. We have a small city, and we're just starting up. So Mezari is better. Remember that. First thing we're going to do, we're going to select one marine. We're going to go and split our army here and take a look around more. So that is titanium right there. I do not like the starting area very much, I will be blunt. What don't I like about it? Food? If I was going to value food, industry, science, dust, I'd probably say something like value it as like industry is 2, and science is 1.5, and food and dust are 1, to make it kind of simple. I'll go to say 10 approvals worth like 5 or something like that. Maybe 10. The approval is very nice, but... So if we click on the colonization thing, we can notice that we actually can get a summary of what we'll get at each spot. So if we settle there, we'll get 21, 6, 5, 2, 10. So we'll go ahead and just count the approval as 10 for now. So that would give us 21 plus 12 plus 7.5 plus 2 plus 10. They give us 52 total by that formula. If we put our city up here, we would get 20 plus 6 plus 12 plus 1. 39 total, so that would definitely be worse. Now that would give us like 48. That might be better. And unfortunately both of these are going to take multiple turns to get over here. That would take 3 turns to get up there. Holy cow.
Disconnected. Disconnected.
Actually, did I probably checked that, didn't I? And not that. Because this would technically be better. I think. So we said I'm just sort of making this equation up as we go. So we said the other one was 52.5. So this one would give us 51.5. Okay. So that's probably fine. I still wish we had more science, because we only have 1 science tile. That's a problem, actually. It's very much less than ideal. Ho-hum. And that just gives us, like, 41. Okay, I think we're gonna have to go over there, and I don't really like the starting area. Like I mentioned, too many 3 food tiles. That's bad. We want more tiles with science on them and more industry tiles. The other big thing to consider is the fact that when we make districts, and we'll talk more about this later on, when you have districts, you're going to want one of 2 shapes. The first is to have districts that go kind of like this. Here, 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 here. So as you might notice, it basically makes a line with a second line next to it. That's one ideal shape. The other ideal shape is basically going to be a triangle. And so we see that we can set up both of those here, basically. If you see this like giant triangle, that will work for our larger, well-developed cities. If you're playing somebody who's not going to develop your cities and districts very much, you can basically ignore that, but we're going to find it useful. But again, like even this rivers are nice, but 4 food tiles is kind of yuck. It'd be much better if we had some industry or science or dust there. And I've gotten much, much better starts on all default settings than this. I'm going to select our marine again. I'm going to go ahead and explore a bit more. Is there anything of value over here? Honestly, I almost feel like leaving the starting region, but I'll stick to this, unless that happens to be really good. Oh, the Sisters of Mercy up there in an Arctic region, that'd be nice. Okay. But it looks like we can go ahead and go with this, though if we put a city over here... So 13, 6, and 4 versus... Yeah, it's not going to match it. So we're getting 2 industry at the cost of 7 food and 2 dust. And we don't actually want to be over here anyway, come to think of it. As you might recall, because we want our city to be going along that route right there, making that big triangle long term. Though you could also go across like that, which almost might be better, actually. Still doesn't really have many dust tiles, which is the main thing this area is lacking, dust tiles. I don't really like the start, but we'll make do with it and we'll be okay. And we'll go ahead and go here, like mentioned, because this is the sort of the head of the triangle, I guess, for lack of a better term. And we're going to assign our hero as governor. And we're going to have our citizens working on industry. Founders Memorial will be first. Our priority is always going to be, with a very few exceptions, it's going to be industry, science, food, dust. That's our priority. There's one exception, I'll go ahead and mention that right here, basically. The dust transmuter, if you have a lot of tiles with dust, it is amazing. Like right now we'd be getting 40 extra dust per turn. As we expand our city, we'll be able to pick up a bit more. But imagine like a lot of these tiles had 1 dust or more in them. Those would all be much better. And this is one of the reasons why them being pure food sucks. This is one of the reasons why food is bad. If you used to Civ 5, you might be used to the idea of food is great, and that's true. But one of the big things in Civ 5 is each citizen gave science inherently. So just by having a bigger population, you got more science. That is not the case in Endless Legend. Not only that, but science was better in a sense as well, because you had workers that you built that made improvements everywhere, right? And it didn't matter if the city had absolutely shit for industry or production, as long as you could get like the science buildings, because it got all of its stuff from the surrounding terrain. As it got more citizens, it got to work the new tiles, right? Well, in Endless Legend, most of the text, they're going to be stuff like, we don't say, we research, and, like, let's say, think about, what is it called? Fertilizer, right? Fertilizer in Civ 5 gives an extra food on a lot of different things, like pastures and plantations and non-riverside farms. But fertilizer would be similar to, let's say, plow factory or nutrition, chemistry, or isolation sciences in Endless Legend. So what does plow factory do? It allows us to build a plow factory for more food. Emphasis, you have to actually build it. You need enough industry. Hey, nutrition, chemistry, more food text, but you need to build the buildings. More food text, but you need to build the buildings. I hope you're seeing the pattern here. You actually have to build the buildings you unlock. And that is one of the reasons why raw food is not nearly as good as it was in Civ 5. So we're going to be going for this first. One thing we can do is if we look in our thing, here where it says resources, if there's a known but not present resource, it'll actually tell us. It'll have like a question mark. But instead it's saying, haha sucker, your starting area is not only very good tiles, but it doesn't have any resources in Era 1. So that means we're going to have to expand, or we're going to have to buy the stuff that we want from the Imperial coinage, which will be an important tech that we'll talk more about later. And we have a quest to pacify at least a village of a minor faction and assimilate them. We get 20 glass steel. That's actually very nice. I'll go ahead and finish exploring this to see if there's anything else that's interesting up here. We've seen everything we have in our region. Now, I will go ahead and tell you that this quest literally just gives you a titanium shield that's not particularly great, so we're not going to bother. We are going to pull our troops back home, though. And then we're going to take him to have him take on the Guaran with our the militia from our city supporting it. And we'll go more over that in a moment. Now you might be asking, what are we going to build first? Mill Foundry, which is industry, or Public Library, which is science? If you said industry, you are correct, sir, because it speeds up building everything else. Now normally I'd be definitely going for topography. There's a slight problem though. We only have one tile that gives science. This is one of the problems with this starting area. So topography is not nearly as good. Because the geomic labs you can build with it give you +2 on terrain with science. So if you're in a situation where you have like all 7 tiles of science, that's 14 science. That's actually more than the public library. But we don't really have that. It's only 2 science. We'll still probably get that because we can expand other stuff later on in other cities that will definitely be able to benefit more for it, but it's not that particularly great in this case. So instead, we're going to go for sewer systems. Why? Because it'll give us more approval, which will improve our industry and science and food and dust. It gives us a bonus to everything. And it gives us an extra influence per turn, which is also big. And I guess I can go here to get back in. And I know that the artwork is actually pretty gorgeous in this game, relatively speaking. It actually looks like there's some forests and the ruins are very well modeled. I'm not saying it's like photorealistic or whatever, but you know, you look at all the detail down there for the village, you can see like the little freaking windows. But I'm probably going to spend more time than you'd like just looking at it in a very broad strategic view. Sorry. Okay. I don't know why it's actually doing that. We might as well be here. Now we're going to use dust for the very first time. We are going to buy out the Founders Memorial because it only costs us 34 and it saves us 2 turns. That means we start getting, you know, 9 extra resources a turn, 2 turns sooner. Or 1 turn sooner, whatever. The point is we also start putting more in the Mill Foundry, and that's what we're going to be doing with our dust for a long time, buying out stuff. Here's something worth mentioning about buying out. It gets exponentially cheaper the closer it is to finishing. Did this just get very confused or something? I don't know. Apparently so. Thought it claimed that we'd be there and then we can go up there. I don't know. Because I guess we can't get up. I don't think this will work. I think the cliff is blocking the way. Yeah, we can't get in. We need to go around here. Now, why are we garrisoning them? Well, you see that the military upkeep for this is -1. Military to keep for this army is -6. You can see that down in the lower left. I can't move the cursor down there without losing it. But if you look in the lower left, you'll see it says -6. So you'd be gaining 5 dust a turn, which it basically can equate to, let's say, 5 or 6 extra industry per turn. So that's like an extra 25% production if that's what we choose to spend it on. So hopefully it makes sense why we would find that useful. We're actually going to move our Marines here. Because next turn we're going to move over there. Research. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go for cultivation. It's extra food. Well, it actually gives a lot of extra food. 10 during the summer and 15% growth bonus. Then Empirement for dust. Those are our next 2 priorities. You note that we're researching stuff a lot faster than we can actually, you know, build them even. That's going to be the pattern for it. We're going to just be racing ahead and trying to keep up. Science and industry are the things that will dominate. So now we're going to go ahead and attack the village. If people decide that they really want to see more manual battles, I can arrange it, but for the most part, just to save time on this, I'm probably going to be trying to auto them. So basically we have our 2 Marines, obviously, which have an advantage. They are considered to have an advantage, but barely. over the Minotaurs, but then we also have our hero and 3 militia, and our militia have Cavalry Slayer. Guess what these guys are? Cavalry. And we see that our hero took a hit or two, but that's it, and the militia took a hit. So now they will not spawn units to harass us, and we could assimilate them if we have the influence to spare, which we really don't at this point. You will notice that we are going to spend more dust here, and don't now only cost 27. Now Mill Foundry costs 75. So normally that would cost us 178, over 2.5 times as much. We're now down to like, 10 to 15 left or whatever, and it's down to 27. Hard to tell exactly, doesn't give you exact numbers, but I hope you get the gist at least. Is that Forgotten? That's Forgotten. I hate Forgotten. I hate playing against them because they tend to just be jackasses and killing your pop off. So we might be going to war very early on if the Forgotten says to be jackasses, because I'm not going to deal with him killing population in my cities. Our hero now, however, is level 2. Now we can get more science in our city. So not only is she giving 16 science, she's giving a further 2% science and an extra 2 science per district because of the point we just spent. You'll notice, but even on the one city, we're at 30 science right now. And it would cost 44 to buy it out, so we're not going to try to do so. That looks like something we can buy out. What else are we going to research? We have 3 more techs. I suppose we'll go ahead and go for topography and alchemist furnace in case we expand to places that have it. And mercenary market will be very important, because mercenary market is what is going to give us the access to buy more heroes and sell them if necessary, and sell units technically too if we want. So at this point it's turn 13, and we need 3 more techs. I think we're going fairly well about this. One of the things we're trying to do, and this is generally fairly consistently able to be done with Mezari, is we're trying to hit Era 2 by turn 20 and have 60 influence banked at the time. Because if we can do that, then, I guess you can't see it right now, but this one right here, unlocked by Era 2, it's minus 33% building cost, which basically translates into you build buildings 50% faster. So it's like a 50% industry bonus when we're constructing buildings. That's pretty damn huge. And that'll be vital for getting our infrastructure up. Now some people ask, like, why aren't you exploring more? Well, think about Civ 5. First of all, you are at peace with the other nations in Civ 5 unless they declare war, and they're not going to declare war on your scouts. And in this legend, the AI will be dicks, and they will attack your scouts. They will just kill them, even if you're in neutral territory, because you're at Cold War and they're dicks. Neutral factions will also attack you, because they're also dicks. I think you might be seeing the pattern here. And unlike Civ 5, where meeting the city-states means you can gain whatever it is. Is it influence with them? I forget what the term is now. Basically, reputation with them, right? You can gain, and you can't gain it without knowing them. But the same mechanic doesn't really exist in Endless Legend. Knowing what's on the other side of the map is not really going to change much. And you'll be losing dust likely, risking your units dying, not giving XP for your governor, because by having them here, my hero's getting 2 extra XP per turn by, being their mother or something, I don't know. And we're going to build these geomic labs. It's not exactly that impressive, but we'll deal with it. I hate this terrain. I hate it, hate it, hate it. Okay, so if we got 8 extra influence per turn by putting our citizens on them, because it will grow in 2 turns, then that's 32 we can get from that alone. So yes, we can wait another turn, at least, to put people on influence. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and put them all on influence, because we want to get up to that 60 mark. I can actually calculate it more exactly, but unless you really feel like doing that, which I honestly do, you're going to want to play it safer. So we have 3 turns, and we need 24 influence, which means that in 2 turns we'll be at, 58, and we can move people back onto production or something. Though, as a slightly larger problem, apparently Mercenary Mark is going to take 4 turns, currently. And we need to be done in 3 turns, and this is one of the problems with only having a single science tile. We're actually trying to save our dust a little bit right now. So we know that in 2 turns we'll be at 58. That means we'll and then we'll get the remaining 3. So at that point we can put our 4. Yeah, that'll definitely make it. So we'll try that. So we really need 3 more influence, so we can do that, and that gives us 1 turn, so we are barely making it. Because our starting terrain is really bad. We need more science and more industry. Food we don't care about so much. So what are we going to do in the meantime? It's definitely not going to hurt to get another marine out. So marine or an extra citizen. We'll go for an extra citizen, I guess. Ideally, we would not want to be having to put these guys on science. And technically speaking, we might be able to get away with only putting a few of them on science instead of all 4. But again, I'm trying not to fiddle with things too much like that. But we successfully did it. We have our 60 influence banked. We're in era 2. We have the awesome music going on, as you can hear. And now, 33% building cost reduction. Excellent. So that's going to go from 120 to like 80 or 81, for example, next turn. So what are we going to do next? Well, we need titanium, and we could settle new cities, but we're going to try to avoid doing that till era 3 right now if we can. So we're going to try to unlock imperial coinage, because that will allow us to buy strategic resources. That will cost dust. But we're going to try to build the 2 world wonders available, because they are really, really good. The last 3 world wonders, not such a big deal, honestly, but the first 2 are huge. I think that's kind of in reverse. It should be the best wonders are at the end to like seal the game, not to say, hey, if you happen to get this during the start, you're at an awesome advantage. And everyone else is just kind of screwed. One of the things we'll do is we're going to update our marine. We're not going to do anything fancy. We're just saying you get a better crossbow, better shield. One of the nice things about marines is they're actually fairly hardy for a ranged unit and have good base damage. So we're also going to go ahead and add on a new marine after we finish the Garin village here. In fact, we could retrofit these marines if we wanted, but there's not a huge point of retrofitting them quite yet, unless it's a reason we need to send them out. So we'll let this go as is, as we finish imperial coinage. Now, normally we'd have neutral monsters roaming around our lands at this point, but we made sure we took out the Garin village. Or Garin village, whatever. You see how those haunts are roaming around up there? Those suck. And in fact, they suck so much, and so they're also going to be oh, those are just level 1s? Interesting. I'm still not even sure I want to bother sending these units out to deal with him. They're not screwing with us at all right now, so I'll leave them be. I'd rather make sure we get that other person. But hey, look, we got another level from our hero, so that's another 8 science. We're at 24 science per turn now from our hero alone, as well as another 4 science on our city, so that's a total of 28 base science plus another 3%. So she's responsible right now for a hell of a lot of our science. Because remember, like the Fervent 30% bonus and the 20% bonus from the Empire plan are both multiplicative in effect sort of on top of her base amount. Basically, she's responsible for like half of the science right now is what it really boils down to. Okay, we got our Imperial coinage. One of the things we're going to want next is the canal locks. You might notice, hey, look, it's industry. I told you we wanted industry, right? Guess what's going to be next? It's going to be our science. And we also notice a pattern. Industry and science are going to be on the right. Food and dust are going to be on the left. Approval and stuff are going to be at bottom, and military is going to be up top. That's the basic way it's laid out. So what do we want? Well, we're just going to buy 10 titanium right now, which we can afford. You're going to need 5 of that for the museum. You're going to need another 10 for the industrial megapole, but we'll worry about that later. So we're just going to go ahead and actually put this here. The reason why is we're going to put the museum here, a burrow here, and the megapole there. The reason for that is that to level up a district, it needs to be adjacent to 4 other districts that are, surrounding it, basically. And that's why, like, the double line or the triangle is so efficient, because you only have 4 ones that are basically every single time you add on a new district, you're leveling up a previous one. So you only have the corners, in effect, that are not level 2. You see we're about nearly done with hydrology as well. I was going to take those out, but they ran away. Oh well. Cowards. You may also notice we're going to need glass steel as well. The megapole requires 15 of each. So we're going to have to save up our money to afford some of this stuff. Fortunately, the museum is also going to give us a bonus to our overall dust per turn, so that will help. And the Forgotten are settling next to us. If they start screwing with my capital, I'm going to take them the hell out. And because I wanted that region anyway, it has titanium. Obviously, if you said I really want to aim for a military victory, period, you might be even more aggressive, but right now I'm not trying to assume anything. And we have our museum. What does the museum do? It gives us 20 happiness, and it gives an overall 20% bonus on science. You see how this says we're at 101 science right there, or 111? Right here it says 92, right? So it's really taking all of the cities, adding them up, then multiplying the total result by 20. By 1.2, technically. Now we have these both researched. What are we going to want to do next? We are going to want to, let's say... I'll go ahead and go for some food there. The deep generator is a problem because we don't actually have any strategic resource right now. And that'll reduce the cost of stuff a little bit. We'll eventually want roads, but that's not a huge priority. We're eventually going to want that, but right now we don't have the dust to really make good use of it. We'll probably pick up Central Market. So we can probably go with those as our 6 techs. These are going to be roads for trade routes. It's not going to mean much unless we get peace with the Forgotten, or until we establish multiple cities from conquering the Forgotten. Probably pretty likely. So strictly speaking, if we were planning on one city and didn't think we'd be doing trade routes, we could skip the roads, but it's kind of like you should probably have the roads because you're going to want that tech in most games. Either you'll obtain peace or you'll force peace in a sense, as in you'll force their citizens to obey you. I'm gonna go ahead and sell these 2 guys because I don't want, we're not gonna have the dust for a while to actually afford to be able to afford to upgrade them. I'd rather just make new units. So that gives us our first 15 titanium, but we're also going to need another 200 and 420 or something gold for glass steel. So we're gonna have to wait for that. Canal system gives 1 extra industry per tile with industry, but that'd literally just be 3 industry right now. So less than impressive, but I guess we might as well build it, because we'll add on another one there, because sooner rather than later. And then we're going to build more of this. I just sold one of the Marines that was actually good, didn't I? That's why I was like, well, that's selling for a lot. I sold one of the actual good Marines, so we're going to sell this one too, whatever, and build the new ones. In fact, I'm actually going to go ahead and say we're going to go for the 20% unit discount thing, which means we're going to need 80 influence total. That's why I swapped a few citizens to influence here. But we are gaining 35 dust per turn. That'll go down slightly once the canal system is finished, but... we add on even more science. We're up to 134 now. Hooray. So now we have 20% reduced unit cost in cities, 20% science in cities, and 33% building cost reduction on cities. And we can afford the 10 glass steel, so now we just need another 5. So in fact, we're probably going to be building a few things here. Grabbing a glass of water, because I'm talking a lot. Now you might be wondering, Volk, like, you're complaining about everything. Why are you still playing this? Because I can complain about everything. Let me explain. The point I'm making there is that even though this is not very good in terms of a starting area, and it's not very good in terms of a starting city, and it doesn't have titanium or glass steel as the vultures, which is really bad, and it doesn't even have any Area 1 luxuries, which is really bad. So that's like, what, 4 or 5 strikes there or whatever? It's still not going to matter. We're still going to be fine. And that's part of the point I'm trying to make here. We can overcome all of those obstacles. So you can imagine if you had a better starting zone, or a better starting city spot, or better strategics, in fact, any strategics, or any luxuries, it would be even better. Are there still the level 1s? Let's go ahead and take them out. We're going to need a total of 173, which is like another 3 turns. So I hope you like more Marines, because we're building ourselves a decent defensive force here. If I was truly min-maxing, I'd be selling off more of these Marines to raise the gold faster. Now you might be saying, why not just put your citizens on dust? Well, we're spending 164 industry there, and we can sell it for 131. So it's already nearly to 1-to-1 ratio, and the training the Marines alone gives our hero a boost in XP that creating the dust does not. Heroes get XP 1 per turn automatically, 1 per unit's garrison, not counting militia, and XP based upon the actual production values of stuff created. So the more stuff you actually make at a city, either via raw production or buying out, the faster your heroes level, and we want our hero to level. And 1 more turn and we'll be able to afford it. See, boom. And it's winter. They're like, oh, you could activate these. It's like, yeah, but we're saving them for this. And when we put the mega pull down, you'll see that it says 25 industry on per level. So it'll be 25 industry. Then you might notice that we set it up so that when it finishes, it'll be touching 4 other districts. So it'll be level 2, so it'll be a 50 industry bonus immediately. So that's, you know, pretty nice. And that 50 industry will then be multiplied by the fact we have like the 15% from Mill Foundry and the 30% from Fervent, so it's like a 45% bonus, so it's like 70 plus industry in effect, which will pay for itself in less than 10 turns, in other words. And after that, it's just a massive gain in industry. That's not even talking about how the fact that it reduces the borough streets cost, or the district cost, when we're building those. So that will go from being 302 to like 260 or something, or 240. So you can see we're already nearly through Era 2 here, even with a lot of slowdowns and issues. I saw something over there. And our city leveled up again. I'm actually tempted to continue here to get to that stuff sooner. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll extend out to here later on, since we'll be able to put another one down anyway. Level 2 districts is going to be very important for Mezari for several reasons. So we don't actually have a watchtower location, you know, at the spot like we're worried about stealth units approaching down here. That's just dandy. Alright, so we're at 82, now we're at 155. You know, so we nearly just doubled our production. And we got our hero level. And this is like pretty shitty. You can leave besieged cities, yay. This is pretty shitty. The fortification recovers faster. This is pretty shitty. No blockade penalty. If you're getting besieged, you know, it's nice to not get a penalty, but it still sucks to be besieged. We're looking for this, which gives bonus and trade routes for science, and this, which gives like generic output, and that, which makes us immune to winter effects. Those are what we're really going for right now. And they steal technology. I don't honestly care too much if they steal technology, because that means they're literally stealing... I don't know if that means they're stealing... yeah, they're stealing Era 1 technology. I think we can forgive them stealing Era 1 technology, if they still need that at this point. If they start killing my pop, then I'm going to be pissed. But it's not worth rounding up to get rid of the spy, solely if they're stealing Era 1 technology. I mean, really, who gives a shit? Another 5 titanium is something we're going to want soon. I'm gonna see if I can sneak that, if we'll have the funds to afford it here. And the answer is going to be no, not yet. And why do I want that? Because we want to build the canal locks, which is going to give us an extra 5 industry per citizen. We have 9 citizens in effect. So that's an extra 45 industry. Times this canal locks and fervent bonus, you know, it's more like a 60 industry bonus. And we're looking at cities like the 210 to 230 industry range or something like that. And I'm hiccuping. I apologize. And we also need another 5 titanium after that for the alchemy workshop. So obviously this is a bit awkward. Now you might be thinking, well, this is taking forever. Like, how in the world are you going to survive in higher difficulties? The answer, weirdly enough, is this is actually easier in higher difficulties. Because the AI gets a lot of bonuses to the resource. They get tech bonuses, so they'll have, like, Imperial coinage. And since they have the extra resources and Imperial coinage, they will sell stuff to the market. And you'll often be able to buy, like, titanium and glass steel for 10 dust each instead of 40, because there's a whole surplus of it. So this is actually harder. Go figure. Grass silk and quicksilver, okay, we can work with that, and adamantine, okay, whatever. Keep our same empire plan for now. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 tiles actually giving dust right now. And it'll get slightly better, but... Since we're actually struggling significantly right now with the problem of strategic resources, I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting these up first, actually. So we start being able to work towards a holy resource of adamantium. And then we'll go ahead and try to get some dust. We can go with that. And then we'll go with that. Why science last? Because this is going to require 25 total titanium. That's going to require 20 of adamantine, or a hell of a lot of, you know, titanium or glass steel, which we don't have easy access to because we don't have the dust, and the AIs are, like, worthless on this difficulty. So, you know, on the right side, we now have even better marines. We're going to upgrade them to level 3 on their iron gear. And at this point, since we have a very good industry base, we're even going to add on this movement trinket, Talisman Iron Legendary. Now they can move farther, in battle and outside of. One of the things we're also going to do is we no longer need those guys from the previous era. So we're going to add on some new ones, and now by selling those, we managed to get more of the resources we actually need, like the alchemy workshop. So we're at 160. And now we're at 226. So we gained 66 industry with that right there. That'll do. You see we're down to basically producing two marines every 3 turns if we want them. They'll be level 3 marines with iron gear. And the Forgotten at this point are 7 techs behind us. They're barely into Era 2. They have a lot less industry, they have a little bit more dust, they have less food even than our one city. How about that? We're going to want some more 7 more glass steel to build those two things in the semi-near future, at least. And it's going to take like another 4 turns or something. I care about that more than the marine. And one of the other things I'm looking at and keeping an eye on is I want this leader of leaders thing, which gives 20% of your health regenerated per turn on all of your units. There are 2 ways to get it, depending upon the games, like a 50-50 odds, 50-50 shot. Either get your hero to level 8 or have 30 units garrisoned. The level 8 hero is a lot more obtainable for a human player because the AI on higher difficulties will, you know, literally have this achievement on like turn 30 or something crazy. When I mean something crazy, I mean something crazy. I'm also going to go ahead and say we want public works, actually, as a priority. Because we want the extra influence. That'll be very useful. And we actually do have a source of adamantium. So we only need to get a little bit of other stuff. And if you're asking why are you buying in bulk all the time, the answer, when you buy it like individually constantly, it gets more and more expensive each time. So I'm only at +2 gold now. That kind of sucks. Well then. On the bright side, in 3 turns, we can start getting another production bonus that'll also then give us a bunch of adamantine to use on various things. Let's get this stuff up and running. And this is like 290 or something, 289. I think we're actually going to go into the negatives here during winter. They stole a level 2 technology from us when we were in Era 3. Now we can activate our strategic. Since we have a decent source of it, we now gain a 20% production bonus. And we now produce triple that during winter, so we're getting 6 per turn instead of 2. And we can build things like Deep Generator with it. All of which are good things. And the risk of being, you know, Captain Obvious. I'm gonna go ahead and sell off 2 more Marines. Again, we have like no dust tiles here, and it's really annoying. And you notice we just got a ton of gold. Why am I doing this? 2 reasons. One, we need 7 glass steel. And we also need palladium, so I'm gonna just buy 10 out right there. Now we can build the National Museum and hopefully the National Arena soon. That is going to require another 5 titanium, which we need more money for. And with our sole 3 Marines, you'll notice that it still claims our military is way higher than, our 3 Marines are triple whatever Green has for their military. Oh hey, we get a bunch of stuff from that, that's cool. We now actually... Quicksilver, which will keep up continuously, actually starts our units with more XP too, which is rather nice. It's not just what they gain in battle, they start with more XP. We might have to sell more units here. Today we're able to sell them for 379, and we're getting only paying that, and we get twice as much industry as we do dust. So it's actually a very efficient deal, believe it or not. And we can build a deep generator. Excellent. And we leveled up again. We're nearly to the good stuff. We've now unlocked all the good stuff that we can go like side to side with, basically. Are the haunts gonna move? No, the haunts are gonna stay there. Haunts are gonna die there. Sayonara. It's whatever the word is. I'm gonna go and sell all 3 of those off, because both new units will be created at level 4. This will allow us to buy glass steel, which we need. And it'll allow us to buy 5 titanium, which we need. See, we got to do all of that right there. Howdy, making an Endless Legend tutorial video for people right now. What's up? Said I was making an Endless Legend tutorial video for people right now, but if you want to do something, I can take a break.
I need to do my WoW dailies. I haven't been on the computer until just now.
Gotcha. Dust transmuter here, remember, is going to add 10 dust per tile with
If
dust.
you need me to hop in a different channel, I will. It wasn't.
Yeah, I was just about to tell you to shut up. It's fine.
I wasn't sure if you were recording audio.
I am recording audio. Everything you've said is in the video. We're still
Don't
level
trust him.
3.
He just wants to beat you.
Technology. Of course, even with stealing this technology, they're 7 techs behind still. Also, we're not going to do it quite yet because I want to keep the influence for the plan 1 turn, but then we're going to assimilate that faction pretty soon. And I should have done that earlier, really, because then we would have gotten like 20 glass steel or something from it. Alright, what can we do now? Oh, that'll give us 30% attack on units, another 2 extra science per district. This doesn't really matter because we're not putting people on dust. That doesn't really matter because we're not buying out buildings. That doesn't really matter because we don't have trade routes. That is kind of okay, but again, we're not really exploring a ton right now. We don't really need the approval for our 1 city. And we don't need the movement. And since we can keep whatever influence we don't spend, we're just going to go with that. And we're also going to assimilate them now. And I'm not activating the glass silk yet because, again, we don't have any trade routes. And I'm still hiccuping, which is annoying. Now here's the cool thing. It'd be nice to have the production bonus, but we might want to save up the adamantium for now. It's still considered a holy resource and gets triple during the winters and everything, even if we don't keep it active. And so we're not going to keep it active for now. Now they want us to build 2 new strategic resource extractors. And that'll give us winter shelters, and then we're going to be besieged by some guys. So I'm not in too huge of a rush to do that. Okay, they are closing their borders to us. Whatever. So we're at 14 dust per turn right now. And even with our one unit, we still have basically near equal military power to them. And we can produce, you know, units a hell of a lot more quickly than they can. And here's where our dust is actually going to pick up a bit. So we go from 14, and now we go up to 153. That'll do. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess mainly those 5. It's an extra 50 plus the various multipliers, so it's, yeah. That's a lot better. Though, sadly, our influence is going down. And we're going to keep Quicksilver active constantly. You can also activate a luxury multiple times, so you see we just did that twice, now it's active for 20 turns. Since we get 2 per turn, we can do that. Which is also nice, because if you pre-activate it before getting extra cities, it'll still last the whole duration. If you dumped 100 of a luxury on us right now, and we just activated it 10 times with 1 city, no matter for how many other cities we captured, we'd still have 100 turns of it. So that's a very useful thing to do. And now we're up to 243. So now, I mean, we have 2 anomalies, so that's 30, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is going to be better in terms of like overall, but this is going to be better in terms of per industry. So we're probably going to just try to build that first, since we're not going to have enough for both right now. In fact, we can't even afford to start the other one yet. Also, we should build these watchtowers. Now, you might be thinking, why are you only building 2 watchtowers? Well, there's a bug in the game, or at least was the game prior to Tempest, so I haven't checked since Tempest. And that means that when you upgraded through the ages, as long as you keep 1 watchtower slot free, everything upgrades automatically once you get the next tech for watchtowers. But if you get all of the watchtower slots filled, they don't upgrade automatically. So you have to leave 1 free, which is kind of stupid. But you know what? For science, we'll even go ahead and test that this game, just because you were asking me and begging me so much to do it. Hey, our hero's level 8, so we can get a 5% bonus to everything. And at level 8, we now have our intelligence core. So we regenerate much faster while on campaign trails and such. Yeah, look at all that science over there. We could have had 6 food, for example. Like this area would have been nice to put right there. We'd have 6 food, science, lots of dust. That alone would have been great. I'm sure there's other stuff down there. Like that's much better terrain. Strictly speaking, there's no need to pick a hero from your own faction to do stuff. In fact, there are certain heroes from various factions who are like the best no matter what you're playing. I admit, I'm a sucker for liking the idea of using your own faction's actual heroes, your own faction's actual stuff, if at all possible. So in this game, I'm looking for Vaulter heroes to lead the cities, and ideally Vaulter heroes to lead any towns I capture. If I end up capturing enough towns, then it's going to be a moot point. I'm just going to have to get other faction heroes to governor, 3 governors, or else have no governors, which is also, I suppose, possible. And we're not going to be able to afford the another 5 titanium for the cryometric monitors, so we're going to build another marine for this turn. And how's our military might doing compared to green? So green actually has built some units. And he's managed to be close to our military might, you know, with our whole 3 units here. Bow before him. And now we have endless recycling. Why is this so good? It gives us 14 science on tiles of level 2, and remember we have 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's an extra 56 science right there. So that is very good. We have 2 more techs that we can get in this era. We're not going to deal with stockpiles in this game. They're really good if you know how to use them, but we'll stick to the basics. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab Plow Factory and Highway Outpost, because you're going to generally want those. Plow Factories for a good food bonus, Highway Outposts for more trade routes and better watchtowers, and that's where you'll be able to see if the Tempest thing is happened to fix the bug that I was referring to. See, there's a lot of mobs over there. We should also have a new set of heroes to hire. But none of them are Vaulter heroes still. So disappointing. And again, I know I'm not doing things like checking for luxuries, or using the stockpiles, or several other little tricks I could be doing. I'm intentionally not doing them because I don't want to make a complicated game even more complicated. We're sticking to fundamentals here. Industry and science first, dust in rare cases, because we happen to just need to buy all of our strategics this game. Oh hey, check it out, we can see green over here. So their units have like 130 health, 50, 50, 40, 60 roughly. And we have 187 health, 121, 97, 50, 60. So our initiative and damage are about the same, our attack and defense are like twice as high, and our HP is like 50% higher. But you know, besides that... And now we're actually going to go ahead and destroy the strategic. We're going to destroy that because this is the weird lockage of the game. You actually have to quote-unquote build it like this for it to count as credit. So right now, even with that in existence, we have credit for 0 strategic extractors. You see it says 0 out of 2? And we'll build the Plow Factory after this. It'll give us 3 extra food on watt tiles like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 39 more base food. And green's like peeking over there, and what are you doing, green? And hey, check it out. Now we've done 1 out of 2 strategic resources extractors. So now we're going to destroy it again, because this is the game's logic. Is it not impressive? Then we're going to have some nasty things come attack our city. Then we're going to kill those. Like, see that right there. And that right there. Our installations have drawn the attention of roving armies. They're unlikely to leave us in peace, so it shall be war. Let's see, I have 4 level 4 Marines with Era 3 gear, and you have like level 1 gear, so yeah. It looks like the other one was actually flat out killed by green maybe or something. They got taken out by something because there were 2 of them. Now they want us to build a winter shelter, which means we need 4 more. Adamantium, we're just going to wait 2 turns to make sure we can do that, I suppose. Alright, now we're getting 6, and look, oh no, check it out. We suffer all of winter's horrors, right? Right? It is truly a shame. So these are watchtowers. 3 visions, the main key thing you can look at for an easy thing. We got the new tech, and they are still watchtowers. Still watchtowers. They did not upgrade, so the bug still exists. You still don't do that. So we're destroying all of them. And we're rebuilding 2 of them only as lookout towers and leaving 1 blank so it upgrades properly. We did get some Mezari at least. But hey, more importantly, winter immunity now. Boom. We get no penalties from winter now in our city. And now what are we going to do in this area? We don't really have any boosters. Sadly. We don't have many tiles with science. Sadly. We'll go ahead and research this first so we can extract the Mezarite. We'll go ahead and get industrial processing because it's still quite good. And then I'll think about it. Probably still want Imperial funding. Incidentally, the winter shelters now effectively do nothing. Somebody else got something else. Whatever. Has anyone gotten the 4,000 dust? No. Has anyone gotten this? Hey, check it out. I'm first on influence. Also, we can now get that. Can we afford that? We can. We can barely afford that. Nice. So we get... Still get nothing from that, and that, but we do get an overall dust bonus. We get an extra 25 happiness, and we get a multiplicative 50% growth. So in other words, you take this number of 159, so basically 160, that'll become 240. It's a multiplicative on top of everything else. It's not additive like Fervent. That is why it is so good. I'm assuming that... Okay, that's fine. Now they want us to build burrows. Check it out. We're building burrows, and you see we're at 249 here. Also... This game just freezed. There we go. We can upgrade our Marines again. Now we're in dust equipment. So again, we're not doing anything fancy, we're just doing dust tier 1 everywhere. But now we can add improved life on. So 157 to 186. Costs a little bit of dust, but well worth it. And we're going to go ahead and keep building up with our dust so we can try to grab this. And we should win that. Probably won't win that. And if we get enough money, I might be able to buy enough stuff to do one of these 2, I suppose. Rare Metal Foundry's also about to finish. I should have put the burrows there on top of it. That would save us like 1,000 gold from the Mezarite extractor. 1,000 dust. That's probably what I'll do in 4 turns then, shall I? In the meantime, we'll go ahead and start producing the new Marines. And I'll go ahead and probably sell the old Marines to clear up space, unless we happen to have a Volter Hero, which we might get in 2 turns, we'll see. Yes, we want to activate Quicksilver. What the hell, let's just activate this. We have nearly 70 turns already. Seems like there's just no point in really waiting. Excuse me. Do we have a Volter Hero now? That'll do. Army defense bonus 2. Now we need to make sure that you get all the appropriate stuff. And one of the things we're going to give her is the Drum of Geos, which is another health bonus to the whole army. Now let's go start clearing some stuff out. So we can just like auto attack all of this. Auto calc, whatever. Let's see if there's anything interesting in these here parts. What's over there? Search it with dust water. Don't think we have dust water. Be at war within 10 turns. Don't tempt me, Green. Don't tempt me. Search the ruins with an infantry hero, which guess what we also don't have. So we're going to put the Burrow Street there. Why? Because that gives us the meteorite extractor for free, in effect. And we are going to want to have the titanium for the production line. Like so. In fact, I should probably do it in that order, even. Let's compare our military. So we're at 6k, they're at 3k. Yeah, and theirs is scattered and spread out, and ours is concentrated into a... I don't know, use your analogy, gauntleted fist or something? I don't know. We leveled, which means we get another vision, which is nice. And we probably could have given her the trinket for, Did we get the DPS trinket in Era 2? No. So alchemical armor is something we might pick up at some point if we actually go on the warpath. It's a good damage bonus. It's one of the best trinkets. In the meantime, we're just, you know, wiping everything out. Check it out, 411 industry, I'll take it. Many rat guys around? Yes. The reinforcements. So they have 90 health and 42 damage, and we're at 290 health and 80 damage, so... Hasta la vista. That seems to be like the bottom. We probably could have explored down there, and we probably should have, but there's this whole cluster of stuff up here I'm looking at that looks more interesting. I'll go ahead and build this because it'll be worth having. We can look at more luxuries after this, I suppose. Okay, so we got a bonus to our trade routes, which are non-existent, so... whatever. What do we want to research next? Tell you, the lack of strategics and having to buy them is definitely putting a crimp in some things. We should probably get that just to have it. And we'll get those two. Those two would be nice. This allows us to have armies of 8, and that gives a 20% defense bonus to our units. And I'm not truly that worried about the Guardian stuff right now. Maybe get Borer's Guild for even more Mithrite, I suppose. And Adamantium. We don't even have that much trend with industry, though. It seems kind of useless, to be frank. I think we're going to go ahead and pick up this alchemical armor trinket that we talked about earlier, just so we have it. And if I put up the Imperial Finding, we'd get like 1, 2, 3, so 17 extra, so 4, 5, so 25 extra base science with Imperial funding. That's less than stellarly impressive. We got some Titan's Bones, though. We need to find the city Einar, wherever the hell that is. We can go ahead and do that. And we get another 5% bonus to everything. Yay! What did we find? Dust. So right now I'm not too worried about the combat stuff, which is up here, so I'm going to invest in the movement thing again. So we can try to explore things as rapidly as possible. We're about to meet Light Blue. Maybe. Not yet, apparently. Okay, then. Oh, hi, it's the Vaulters. That's like our cousins or something. Build a city improvement that increases our empire's influence. Probably don't get credit for having already built some of the other stuff, sadly. Let's clear you guys out. Hey look, they have their own army, the Vaulters, so they have 139, 90s, 80s, 60, 40, to our again, 229, 130, 100, 50, 70. Oh, because they checked it later of the turn, not at the start of the turn. I'm like, why didn't we get credit for that? That would be why. Check that out, we got a golden tree plus a massive tree, for example. Okay, Vaulters. Sure. Bye. Like, okay then. Thanks for the levels. Sayonara. Or we get another trinket slot to do stuff with. Knowing the Endless Legend AI, they're probably going to come and be like, why did you have aggression during Cold War? It's like, excuse me, you came in and attacked us first. Thank you very much. Ooh, that looks like a really good spot. Right here we'd have gotten the Earth Spine and that. It wouldn't have as much production, but it would have a decent chunk of science, and that would have been nice. There's a lot of better spots here. And our dust extractor would have been so good. You know what, why not? We're going to need palladium anyway. Yes, we just spent a shit ton on it. We can build the Alchemical Institute now, though. We'll put that there. What did I fail? Yeah, I failed to be at war. Whoops, I am so sorry. I'm gonna activate a few turns of this since we already have a shit ton now. I don't feel guilty at all about doing that. We have more than we'll need the rest of the game, in effect. We don't have to buy any more. You'll notice that my units that were the yellow are now back up to green, except for the one that dropped back down due to getting hit. But hey, check this out. Here's another spot that would have been better to start at. Funny that, huh? Discover 3 science-based technologies. I think we can do that. You know what, let's go ahead and pop this. So we're at 181. Now we're at 243. That'll do it. So we'll get the Institute, then we'll level it up for another 50 science. Okay, so we're going to need more palladium, and we're going to need more glass steel. We can work on it. Imagine if like 6 or 7 of these had been the dust cells instead of like 3 food. We gain a lot more dust per turn. So we can basically afford exactly what we had before. We could raise I don't really want to give up that dust in exchange for the thing. That can wait. Because we had a quest to raise our science and industry by 1 more. That can wait. Got a new quest. Colonize Mezari. That's a bit away. That said, it would be nice. You'd actually get some decent stuff there. And then if we took over like those or something, we could connect our empire like that, I guess. These are the quests that make me feel like a dick. It's like, I wasn't gonna conquer you, but now I have to get that quest. We are not even going to have enough palladium to be able to get all of this. It's just literally not available. This is going to give us a significant food bonus. Yeah, we just jumped up from like 300 or so through 400 to 600. So I did I say 600, I meant 639. I'll go ahead and do that, I suppose. The weird thing is that this, in some respects, honestly feels harder than the harder difficulties because the AAs are not putting anything on the market. So it's like incredibly easy to just roll over them if I felt like it. And I can win more easily, but everything's also slower, so that's kind of an interesting thing. Okay, I leveled up, so now all my units get 12 attack. The next level, they will get an extra ranged, and that's the main thing to have a ranged hero. They give an extra range, and they give raw damage, and both of those are very powerful. So what can I actually afford to do here? Can't afford to buy the palladium I wanted, so... this will just make more troops. You notice I'm chilling in with the largest army by a massive margin. Research, I'm beating even the Vultures by 6 techs, the Forgotten by 10. For raw science, I'm, 3 times what the next one is. And I haven't been doing anything to really optimize my play here either. Like, I could be looking at buying these luxuries, for example. To show you what I mean. Let's say we're going to buy this dust water. So we're spending 418 gold, right? So we spent 418 gold. Right now we're at 235. And now we're at 440. So we're literally gaining 205 gold per turn. So after 2 turns, it'll pay for itself in effect. And we're going to net a profit of, what, 8 times 200? So about a 1600 dust profit in effect. Yeah. And why is that luxury so powerful, you might be wondering? Because of the National Craftsworks thing we made at our capital. You might remember me talking about that. They want us to build Imperial funding, huh? In the meanwhile, we're searching to try to see where Anar is for our faction quest. Because it's apparently none of these regions, am I right? Correct answer is yes, you are right. Oh well. Red settled that. No, that was going to actually give a really good crossbow that's scaled with your hero. Instead of just giving like a flat amount, it'd basically be as good as this crossbow, and then also give like 30% damage, 30% attack, 20% initiative or something. It's a really good weapon. I will just have to survive without it. It's something like this, though the bonuses aren't quite as insane. So that's a two-handed axe, right? Can these guys even use two-handed weapons? I don't think so, right? Yeah, just claws and shields. Skya Keeper is not very good for a hero. If I see another good Forgotten hero, I might take him just to use that freaking axe, because that's awesome. I happen to pick it up. Gonna go ahead and build that there, and we can build another, like, wonder or two there, I suppose. Now our strategic cost for items has increased. Two turns till we can start Throne of Emperors. And we could actually, if we bought out all the Hyperion, we could afford the other one too eventually. Then we're gonna want Hyperion for other things too. Isn't this awkward? So awkward. So awkward, so awkward. Chances are this Ayr place or Ayern place or Anar is probably over here. It's probably greens. I'm guessing. Oh hello, Ardent Mages, you guys are dicks too. Well, the fact that they're all about like power through pain and have slaves tied up and tortured to fuel their spells probably should, you know, clue you in on that ahead of time. Just throwing that out there. Trying to make fertilizer plants in hothouses. That's sort of my goal. Throne of Emperors. I heard you liked influence, so I got you some influence while you influence. It's Iramada. Now it's all part of Masan. Yeah, it's probably way back there, and I'm just going crazy searching over here. That's how I roll. We can afford to buy the other Petrov now. I think it's 2 Petrovs we have. The best Vaulter heroes for army stuff are High Protector and Rilkada, who give army defense boost 3 or army attack boost 3, respectively. Give you the dust here. This is going to be better until Era 6, that chest piece we picked up. And we can't actually afford all of that. Okay. Whatever. Hey, Sisters of Mercy, let's have a fight. Good fight. So this is their capital, which only has 2 districts, and only has like 7 pop. Welcome to Era 5. A lot of this shit here requires resources, but with modernized administration we can pick up certainly first. Because we actually have the resources we need to make Aura of Empire, which is going to give us a ton of influence. This is only good for trade routes. This, we really want Mithrite. We'll get the Mithrite. We'll need more glass steel, so that's fine. This will need actual Hyperium as well, so that's more awkward. Meanwhile, our military power is like triple anyone else. And that has been pacified. And we have 2 tier 2 gear available now. And one of the things that includes is we get the army health boost too, instead of 1. Until we get better trinkets, we'll go and throw an extra sight range increase on for her. Why not? That also means we want to upgrade our Marines. They get tier 2 gear as well. And of course they get extra health. Oh, they actually have Dust Orchid. That'd probably be worth getting. How long is the Dust Order active? 2 more turns? Okay. Let's go ahead and grab some Dust Orchid. Why not? So that alone, again, is more than paying for itself, and that gives us science, food. Basically gives a 20% bonus to everything. Problem here is we can't actually go here without declaring war. So when we're trying to find out what region is which, that makes it awkward. That's one of the reasons I was going over here, but, you know, we didn't find anything over there, sadly. Wow, you have a population. So your capital is a population of 19. And you're Broken Lords, and therefore also dicks. Only the Wild Walkers and Draken are, like, not dicks. The Vultures are often kind of dicks. The Mezari are not really dicks, but the rest of them are total dicks. There's only one anomaly in this region, isn't there? It's not going to grow much, but it still would give us access to a lot of different things. Probably worth trying to get a city there, eventually. We need to find Gogini or whatever and get over there to find these roaming armies. Lust for loot. Excellent. That's actually really good. And so the first one there was a bunch of Hyperium. Can't attack that this turn, but next turn we can. And I'm trying to leave that spot for Reliquary to instantly level it up. So we're going to go ahead and progress our city over this way. Oh no, our dust water ended. Whatever can we do? Hey look, we can get another round of it. Then the auction house is out. Since this will last us until turn 70, it's probably worth picking this up. You might notice that we're getting, well, shitloads of influence now. 255. That's enough to support 3 cities flat out on, max Empire plan in all 4 categories. Which we'll be able to do in 5 turns, to be able to just completely max the Empire plan. And I'm just popping all these to extend them to the max. With this, we don't actually need to produce a ton quite yet, so I'm leaving that open, but... Is this the right army? It is the right army. I got 50 adamantium, okay. I'll take that out next turn. There's going to be spam clicking here, so it can't try to run away at the start of the turn. That is one annoyance thing about the fact that it's like all simultaneous turns, technically. If you waited, they might run. But hey, we get another 8 XP each or whatever. Wild Walkers, yep. Bring a settler to get a shitty thing. No thanks. Ooh, we got Peck's Care available. She's one of the best science heroes. I might pick her up just in case we have to, because we're planning probably on doing the quest line thing, I guess. I'll grab her. And we're pretty much at the point of process of elimination where I can assume that Anar is going to be, yeah. We can get exotic alloys, but it is in Green's territory. This is my I am very upset about this face, can you tell? How just traumatized I am by this issue. We don't need this extra grass silk, we can sell that. Gonna upgrade these Marines and we're just gonna go to war. Well, well, you know what? We'll try being reasonable first, and we'll try to negotiate for open borders, but I don't think they're going to open their borders. And if they won't open their borders, then they'll open their city gates to me, one way or the other. Wild Walkers are dicks too, apparently, sometimes. Well, not apparently. I knew that they were sometimes dicks. But they're more willing to offer peace and to actually, you know, be less dicky. Is that enough to upgrade? Yes. Perfect. Okay. You're terrified. I get that. What do you want to open your borders? Obviously, we don't have much dust. 200 adamantium? I don't think so. How much is like 1 hyperium for you? So that's the equivalent of like 3,000 plus dust to open your borders? I don't think so. About a tech. Is there a tech? Would you be satisfied? So 1 tech is enough? I'll go ahead and give you a highway outpost so you build my stuff for me. How about that? Alright, green gets to live a little bit longer today. Unless it turns out they have Anar, which looks very likely. We didn't even build War of Empire and we're at 262. Damn! Gonna get that shit out of the way. Well, I found Anar, did I not? And this is like the titanium version that I saw. The glass steel one, so it's, you know, again, you can see 60% attack, 30% damage. It's not as crazy as the Hyperion version, but it's still very good. And unfortunately, so literally I have to conquer the Forgotten's capital in order to proceed with the quest. The only city that'll work is their capital. Great. I really don't like this part of the quest. I don't like the fact that you have to conquer, even as like the Draken as a more peaceful diplomatic group, you still have to conquer enemy cities. It's dumb. The fact that I can't negotiate for access to Anar. It's like, read the quest here, shall you? It says, I mean, this is a lot of stuff, but the point is that the site must be found and entered. Discover whatever remains of the ancient site. We need to, you know, find the fortress and search it, and apparently we need to control the region. In other words, we need to conquer it. To do so, we can't, like, negotiate for access to it. I don't know. It's dumb. So there's the Guardian incoming. Excellent. That's XP. Now my troops have an extra range. Yay! And there we go, up to 600. Hey, there's the Guardian. I'll wait another turn or two, I guess, and then capture the Forgotten, whatever. Got some more dies. Reliquary can go there. Hooray. In fact, that's going to be a priority over the Customs Ministry, because the Customs Ministry is only good if we can make trade routes, which we can't right now. I don't see a reason in capturing Enar and then not taking the other two cities. Like, I can't even make trade routes with it from there, so I think the solution is just going to be to wipe everything out. And yeah, you can see that we get everything, so we get more life in our units too for military stuff. And that's the Lustre loot that's finished. So good timing. Now that we've done the Empire plan, we'll, I guess, declare war. I hate resorting to violence. Let's quote from Jaina Proudmore, if you ever played Warcraft 3. And we picked up 30 Dust Orchid. Nice. And I'm gonna go ahead, and since we're making several high value production stuff, I'm gonna pop these Titan's Bones. I could have actually solved the quest by popping them, but I didn't want to do so since I wanted to actually kill the Guardian. I hate resorting to violence when it comes to diplomacy. Yes, I realized, you know, what that sounded like. I want to kill the Guardian, but I hate resorting to violence. And you're like, wait, what? Get your story straight, pal. Moonleaf would be nice. More science, whatever. And technically, we could afford to get some more Titan's Bones. So whatever, we'll roll with this. We never built hothouses, did we? We haven't built several other things, technically, as well. Don't even have enough for that. We need more titanium to make Imperial funding. A sad day, truly. And who are we fighting here? We'll take that out next turn, then go up there, and we've nearly cleared out this whole region. Now we can take this city. We've sieged it a little bit. It still is fortification, but I mean, 1 unit plus 2 militia is not going to be enough to stand up to this at all. In fact, the demon's like, screw this, I'm out of here. I'll go ahead and let, you'll need a right of way. Okay. Do we have any other good governor heroes available? Might get the Argdba or whatever. Sure, why not? Because I want to put Pexcare in the better cities, but I'll put her in these worse cities. Anything else I need to do? Everything is pillaged over here, so I guess we need to go defend that. Empire went down in approval. Will this boost us up? No, it's just... They're just pissed. Minus, what, like 175 from ownership? Yeah. That'll decrease at minus 175, but it basically means we're hosed until then. Why are you flying over to attack me? Really? Okay then. Got bad news for you, pal. I have to take your capital city. And taking your capital city won't let me establish trade routes. So I think I'm going to take all your cities. Not as stupid that I have to take your city in the first place, but it's one of the problems with the game. And hey, we got the reliquary. Imperial funding, yay. So we're at 543. 543 goes up to 768. That'll do it. I still need to get the fertilizer plant, which actually is what I meant to build, come to think of it, but... oh well. And this area is now secured. I'll go for that temple. And you can take these guys on. So they have an extra like 130 health and fortification, so they're at like 280 health. And we're at 555 health, 92 damage, to 47 damage, 60 attack and defense to 134, 169. This is the power of better levels, better heroes, but better gear, and heroes boosting them with health boost and defense bonus and all that stuff. Pex Care, you get their capital, former capital. All the way down to, oh, we're still in the happy range, hooray. And 69 left, that's all, so all one hit again. You can see that even the demon here, 243, 60, 90, 60, 50, yeah. So green no longer exists. And I should get a governor for them. I guess I'll go for this dust boost guy, and he'll generate more dust, I suppose. Whatever. Well, I apologize for Wolf. Wolf, you realize you keep transmitting these sounds in the background, right?
Sorry, I'm alt tabbing. I need to mute myself.
Wolf is now muted.
Gladium. Very good. This is a terrible position for our city. Why did they even put it here? Whatever. It's like it's good. They're getting blocked and expanding in every direction, basically, by the ridges or whatever. So probably just trying to go like this is gonna be salvaging the most it can, but it's pretty bad. Arg, whatever. Hey, now you get an attack bonus. Every unit gets 12 more AB. You're level 14, so we'll give you that. Everyone should make sure they get roads done. I need to pick something to research. That'll be good. That'll be good, I suppose. We can go for that. Like, these aren't bad, but they're not really necessary if we do everything else correctly, in effect. Advanced extractor with extra luxuries might be nice, I suppose. So if I do that, and then I don't know, come back to that. I don't even really care about having multiple minor factions assimilated at this point. So now we actually have our trade routes up. Forgotten are gone. Rest in pieces. There is an active city down there, or faction village down there that we should take out. How are we content at 62? 62 should be happy. There we go. Sometimes you have to like adjust the citizens around to force it to recalc it. It's like, what? Why am I not at least happy there? I should be able to get us the fertilizer. Then we're going to want to build those soon as well. Are we getting both of them? We are. Excellent. 2 birds with 1 stone and all that. Is this one of the things, or is this something else? What is the global event? I know it's the rust from rust to dust. Oh, hey, 100 adamantium, we get 7 palladium. I like that deal. 2, 3, 4. We contribute 20 each time, so we're down 100 of that, but we get 70 of that. We get a lot of XP here, and we negate the rusting effect. So overall, I'm willing to trade 30 of what I have way too much of for 70 of what I desperately need, for sure. And now the other strategic stuff we want to buy, like trinkets and such, will be cheaper. The global event is done. Do these really do a ton? No, but they do give better sight in a lot of ways, and I figure I'd rather see anything coming. Not so much an issue in this particular game, but as a general principle. Another option I'd have is to, and honestly would probably be better at this point, is get the dust refinery for them, and then put all the citizens on dust and buy out everything. This is just less hassle if I just put it on industry. That I can just let it just work, really. Both are fine, really. Stuff's leveling up some more. And the map is pacified. You know, if we get more glass steel, we won't be able to actually get the Glorious Emperor thing. So we didn't get that. We didn't get that. We didn't get that. We've gotten, like, everything else here. We should be able to get that. Guardians, I don't know if we want to bother with those. That, I'm at the running for as well. This I'm in the, apparently the running for, though I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually complete 25 more quests at this point. For the Vulture quest, now we need to equip the Deep Diviner, which costs like 30 titanium. And we need to search those ruins. And they're going to get bonuses to their trade routes. Yeah, that was the right one. How about that? We'll finish off the other one too. So we got these guys who are over there, and we have our empire over here, which is... Oh, we got... I'll take that. And that. Hey, we're at Fervent. We'll go ahead and regroup at our capital for now, I suppose. I'll actually send you out here to meet up, so that way I have those 8 and 8 easily done, just for my own ease of access. That should be enough, I think. 30 and 25, that's fine. Oh, I lied, actually. We need 55 total. You should basically just ignore what I say, if the game contradicts me, which it usually will. And I'm lying, actually, about not sure, nah, whatever. You should actually listen to most of what I say, at the cost of sounding incredibly arrogant. And now, I don't know, I guess she really has everything she can use. I mean, we can go for this to get an extra 3 XP per turn for her, just so she's levels up even more, but... It's a pretty minor thing. We really need 3 more techs now, don't we? Because we got tech from... What tech did we get? Oh, we got rare armor. I actually didn't want that tech. Oh well. Kind of inclined to say we just skip this, because that's only going to be... Once we get 30 population, which we're in the lead for anyway, we'll be able to have minus 75% expansion disapproval. I don't know if we really need to get that down to 0. Like, even with, let's say, 20 extra cities, it's only minus 50 happiness per city. Which, you know, 45 of that's counted by central market and sewers alone. Then you have all the extra luxuries that advanced extraction will help maintain. And we get another 25 from the Empire plan, so I'm inclined to say we just pick this up if somehow we need it later on. It'll be cheap. And you can see this is at 98 happiness with another 100 to go, basically. We are getting 4 titanium per turn at least. Turn 151 incoming. We're gonna get new heroes. Every 15 turns it updates. But no Vulture heroes. I'm very sad. That is a really good influence governor right here. Ozek's the Chosen. She's one of the best. Jasa Murdup's really good for econ. He gets food boost and dust efficiency. Sign a truce with another empire? Like, who are we going to sign a truce with? Worried. Weakness of its armies. Weakness of its armies. Weakness of its armies. Weakness of its armies. Okay, so we're at 447,000, and no one else is above 10,000, apparently. Okay, then. Okay. Now we get another Borough Street here. 2 techs to go. They're both just chilling at the capital, yeah. Let me fill in my water. Hey, Nadjun, or whatever, leveled again Sonoy, get a damage bonus. And her next level gives her winter immunity, so she can run at full speed through the winter. Advanced extractor on the grass silk and quicksilver would be nice. Apparently I have 22k dust. That'll work, I guess. Getting 3 per turn? How do I get 3 per turn? I guess this has an advanced extractor on it? Or... oh, it has a Tower of the Consecrate, okay. Plus some resource and deposit. I'm like, how am I... because I would get 2 normally. I'm like, how am I getting that other number? That's weird. Point is, we might still be buying. I might also choose to, like, settle up here to get more mithrite and grass silk and glass steel, too. Oh, this also looks good. There's a lot of good areas around here. Welcome to Era 6, which is very different because it's very spooky and it's the end of ages. The planet is tearing itself apart. Dun dun. Again, for my basic marines, I'm not doing anything fancy with special gear. I'm just loading them up with all basic dust stuff. They can be mass produced very easily. No worries about resources. Well, I guess if you were worried about military stuff, Serum would be your priority, but we'll go for Difference Engine first. In this case, I suppose. Ooh. Me like it a lot. So tier 3 is 38 and 20. These aren't really significantly better. That looks like that would be better. So we have 38 health and 20 defense. So we have initiative or attack. Just in case we get guardians, I'm going to go with attack, I guess. Chest piece. This is 14 and 74. Again, these aren't really any better. These are, though. I'll take the initiative, I think. Though, adamantium is my holy resource, right? So, that gives 68 health. I actually get a larger bonus from it. So yes, it's another reason to actually take. Since adamantium is my holy resource, taking the adamantium stuff's probably going to be best. Yeah, we'll go with all that. That's going to be swapped out because I want this trinket, damage boost 2, which gives 8 damage flat and a 10% damage bonus. This is going to become army health boost 3, and since she has army defense boost, we're going to go with the army attack boost trinket here. So now she has defense boost, damage boost, health boost, and attack boost to her whole army. And her basic, just, you know, run-of-the-mill marine, so she has 500, basically 500, 400, 200, 60, 150. They're all at 750, 200, 200, 75, 127. So yeah, she can actually snipe down guardians. Meridian Zoya will have the same thing. You get a palladium, and you get a palladium, and you get a palladium. You all get a palladium. We'll retrofit your units too. So we started this turn at 50.6k, right? 50.6k, remember that number. And now, after making those adjustments, our military is at 99,000. So we literally just doubled the strength, basically, of our heroes and armies by upgrading them and giving the heroes their better trinkets. And you can see here's a wandering level 3 army. 140, 75, 50, 40, 60. And again, you know, 750, 200, 200, 75, 140. It's not even close. I mean, this game is not even close. I mean, we've met everybody, so let's just go take a look at the screen, right? Like, I really only have a 5% life army that's actually really bad. I could get 5% influence if I was worried. I could get 5% attack if I was worried. I'd probably just pick this because I have 2 villages instead of 3. Whatever. We now have Dilbars. Doesn't matter. Like, nothing of this matters. We have some things rolling here. We can build more stuff. Our military, right, like, each of those armies could conquer the entire world by themselves without losing a single unit at this point, to be frank. And again, those aren't even Marines with elite gear. They're just Dust 3 Marines. Just still quite powerful at higher levels with a proper hero leading and supporting them. Expansion, apparently we are still the highest. Population, we're currently the highest. Research, we're at 45. The second best is at 31. To put that in perspective, wow, Dark Green, who's now wiped out, was second place on tech. Wow. Okay, so to put that in perspective, Miri, it takes 36 techs to get into this era, so Miri is halfway through Era 4, the other Vultures, and the Forgotten, they were not even to Era 4. They were one tech away from Era 4. So the Forgotten, they were still in Era 3. And then we have Red and Light Green and Orange, and they're barely into Era 2. Sorry, barely into Era 3. They're at the start of Era 3. So it's turn 150 and they're in Era 3, basically, right now. That's how bad it is. Food, I mean, I think that kind of speaks for itself. Industry, again, you know, speaks for itself. Dust speaks for itself. Science speaks for itself. Influence speaks for itself. Empire approval, you see we dipped down here, but now we're back up to 100. Diplomacy, I mean, no one's past 17% apparently, best case for diplomatic victory at this point, so I don't think they're going to get it in a while. Quest, we could continue the Vulture quest line, and I can continue this video. I'm just mainly pointing this all out here because I'm about to stop, and I will save it, and if people want me to continue this game, I can and show it anything people want, but at this point I can easily just turtle. I can expand a few more times to be able to link up more trade routes, because getting more trade routes is going to increase my science massively due to my Vulture hero thing. Like, I can have 11 trade routes in my capital total, and right now I only have 3. So I can saddle in like another 7 cities, and each one's going to be a lot more science just from the trade routes, which then also have their own trade routes and science building. You see, there's plenty of room to expand. In score by time limit, I have double the next person, and I mean, obviously that's like not even remotely accurate. I'm way better off than that. I have as many towns as I guess the AI does. Economic, I'm ahead. You know, scientific, I'm not there yet, but yeah. And we're not too far off from being even be able to get that, because we're getting 2 per turn there, and 4 per turn there, and 3 per turn there. So in like, what, 13 turns or something, I'll get that, assuming I don't spend anything else, or if I just buy it, because hell, I have 24k dust, you know. So there you go. Hopefully this was enjoyable and informative. And again, I apologize because I'm very used to this game. I've put in like 700 plus hours. And I apologize if I glossed over anything that really I should have talked about more in length. So any comments, critiques are welcome, and let me know if you guys want to see video of other stuff in the game. And again, I heartily, strongly, incredibly strongly, whatever, etc. recommend that you play Mezari instead of Wild Walkers to start. I think they function much better for a new player, because you can just basically toss everything in industry and your science will practically take care of itself for the most part. It is a lot more forgiving in terms of keeping up in science. There's too much industry, leaves you in a situation where it's like, do I just try to conquer the world at early game? And maybe you want to, but if you don't, then you get further and further behind. So try Mezari, they're awesome. Hope you enjoyed.